and welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the Philadelphia Eagles episode. Fly, Eagles, fly. And that being said, there's only three of us here right now. There's supposed to be four. Again, we don't know where Drew went, what he's doing, or why he's not here, but he's not. This is like the third time he's done this to us recently, and I think there may be a problem.
Yeah, there's going to be a
cracker on him.
There's going to be a pay deduction, a couple of demerits, suspensions will be handed out.
Bears are going to lose a draft pick.
There you go. There, that's a good one. That's a good one. We may just have to have an intervention overall, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. But that being said, I'm sure you heard the voices. Uncle Doug and Ray are here with me. Wade's also gone. Wade's sick, unfortunately.
He's got the poops.
And yeah, apparently their house is being ravaged by the sickness, so hopefully they get better. But he did say we could text him for tiebreakers if need be, so we can do that. That being said, we are talking about the Philadelphia Eagles 7-on-7 team. So I think we can get started. So, Uncle Doug, to you, sir. Who is your Philadelphia Eagles quarterback?
Well, I'm not going to make you very happy, Alex.
Oh, come on.
My quarterback is Randall Cunningham.
Oh, man, that's a mistake.
I knew you wouldn't like it, but I always liked Randall.
I mean, I don't dislike him. It's just not the pick.
I know. But, so anyway, Randall, 6'4", 212, came out of UNLV. 4 Pro Bowls and All-Pro. They've got all kinds of Offensive Player of the Year for UPI, other kind of awards like that. But basically, he threw for about 30,000 yards, 207 touchdowns, about 57% completion. So I always liked the way he moved, got out, throw on the run. I was just a big Cunningham guy. So
when he retired, there was a strong case to be made for him being the best running quarterback of the generation. A lot of guys have been more prolific runners since then, but he was pretty prolific for his day. He did come in second in MVP voting one year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, Uncle Doug's by himself there, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Ray. Let's see if you get this pick right.
Okay. Donovan McNabb.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. See?
Times 2. All right. The 1999 draft, 6-time Pro Bowler. His nickname is 5.
That was his jersey number as well.
There's really his nickname was 5?
I don't know. I never heard him called that.
Well, that's pretty lame. Let's see here. 11 years in Philly, 1 in Washington, 1 in Minnesota. Let's see here. 59. Oh, hold on here. 32,873 passing yards with 216 touchdowns, 100 interceptions. Well, that's pretty goddamn good. Let's see, 2,801 completions out of 4,746 attempts.
He also ran for 2,200 yards.
Hey, that's pretty legit too. But yeah, he's the one I really remember on the Eagles the most because Cunningham was mostly 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, Cunningham would have been the quarterback for the Eagles when you and I were pretty small, Ray.
Yeah. McNabb get him to a Super Bowl or close to it?
He made a Super Bowl, and they made 4 straight NFC Championship games. Although I do also believe Cunningham took them to an NFC Championship game, if I remember correctly.
What other team is Cunningham on?
Cunningham played for. He also played for Minnesota, and he played 3 other places. Here, I have to pull it up. He played for Minnesota, Dallas, and Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
Because he retired for 1 year, Cunningham retired for 1 year and then
Yeah.
came back and played a couple different places. Sorry.
Yeah, he played both of the. Funnily enough, both McNabb and Cunningham both played 11 years in Philly, and then, like you said, then McNabb went to Washington. We traded him to Washington, and then he went to Minnesota, and then he retired. And then with Cunningham, he played 11 years in Philly, retired for a year, came back, played 3 years in Minnesota, one in Dallas, one in Baltimore.
I even think McNabb made a Madden cover 1 year, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
McNabb also had a second place MVP finish, by the way.
Nice. Who beat him out?
Marshall Falk, actually.
I'll be damned.
Did my ears deceive me?
And coming to the studio,
Yes.
Drew. You're fucking late and we're taking your pay. Whenever we start getting paid.
That's also fair. So Drew, we're still on quarterback. So do you have a separate quarterback that's up there, or do you need to add a count to one of those?
My boy Jalen Hurts. No, I'm kidding. I need to get a look from Alex.
Oh, I already got a look at Alex. Look at the board.
I saw when I came in. 1 second, let me get my mic situated here.
See, that's what happens when you're late. We got to do
What
shit on the
the-
fly. What the hell did you do, Drew?
Oh, we're good. There's a new setup, but it's working. I'm looking at Weird Al Yankovic on Ray's desk. I haven't been able to process all his Funko Pops,
Yeah,
but
just
we're good.
eat it.
no, you got to just eat it. Okay. I went with McNabb.
There we
I did.
go. There we go.
I did go with McNabb. If I was going to pick another one, it probably was Cunningham. And I didn't know what Dad was going to do, but it didn't surprise me. But, yeah, McNabb. But for real, though, Alex, it could be Hurts if he does a couple more years and, makes a couple more Super Bowls.
Oh, the Super Bowls would be huge for him. Yeah. I mean,
But he has decent numbers.
yeah.
I mean, he has a lot of talent. He has a good offensive line, running back, weapons. But
Oh, we're going to hear about some of his weapons later.
yeah.
All right. Well, that's our quarterback situation. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. My next player is none other than Brian Westbrook, the perfect running back for this type of football.
Yep.
Yep, I got him too.
Ray?
No,
No.
not tonight.
Ray, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Well, old Brian Westbrook, which was a favorite of mine growing up, but he played 8 years in Philly. He only played 9 years in the league, 8 of them in Philly. But in those 8 years, he rushed for right at 6,000 yards and also had almost 3,800 receiving yards, 29 receiving touchdowns, and 37 rushing touchdowns. He was one of those guys that just did a little bit of everything while out there, receiving, running, blocking. Just a hell of a running back for you for a little while. He had a couple 100 games while he was in Philadelphia, which was I always thought was just really cool. You grew up with if a running back got 100 yards receiving, that was like a great game, and then a guy could go out there and get 100 yards rushing and receiving in the same game.
I feel like he's just not appreciated enough, I think, by people in my generation.
Yeah.
I feel like he's just old enough. Last year was 09. It's kind of like the beginning of somehow when we start remembering stuff. I think he's another one of not those big name running backs from the early 2000s. I always know about LT and Sean Alexander because obviously they're touchdown records with people like Jamal Lewis, Westbrook. Some people even forget about Priest Holmes a little bit.
Or Jamal Charles.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He was a little bit longer and stuff. But people like that, I feel like we underappreciate just because people in my generation don't remember as much just because we weren't old enough to remember people like that. We would remember the bigger names, but you don't remember those people that had good careers but like aren't Hall of Fame. They're in that middle tier, stuff like that. Like now, people like, let me think for an example. Like I don't know, like people won't remember names like Jay Ajayi or like LeGarrette Blount, stuff like that. Like, but people like we would know because like we grew up watching them, or like Matt Forte, stuff like that. Like, I mean, I don't know. I like Westbrook, but I just don't think a lot of people probably. I don't think sometimes he gets enough credit as he gets, especially in this league for what he did. Like if he played now, he'd be so much more appreciated, I think. But
I agree. The NFL has changed. Like, he was viewed like, like his finesse was viewed as a negative when he played, and now that would be viewed as like, oh, look at all these things he does. Kind of like, you see it in other sports too. But the other thing that hurts Westbrook is, just the briefness of his career. If he could have hung around and played 15 seasons, he may and had a bunch more counting numbers, it may be looked at pretty differently.
What was his rushing yardage?
6,000.
Okay.
And he only played in he didn't play very much his rookie season. So
Okay.
but yeah, that's old Brian Westbrook. So Drew, where do you, sir? Do you have another skill position player for us?
I do. A little bit. I don't know. I decided to go with him. I put Saquon
Yeah.
on the Eagles.
I don't
Yeah.
have one.
I know it's only been 1 year, but he rushed for 2,000 yards. He can catch the ball. He helped me win a fantasy football championship this year. And I like Saquon. And I respected what he did with the whole rushing thing. It obviously worked. They won their playoff game and off and stuff like that the next week.
Yeah.
So, I like Saquon. I think he's another. I think the Eagles had some of the best running backs to pick from for 7-on-7. Honestly, I mean, you could put. I don't know what everyone else has, but I think you could put some other ones on this list too. But I know it's only 1 year, but like, I think he just helped. The offense was already good, but I think he just brought it to a whole different level. Would you agree with me, Alex? Obviously bringing in. It was just the real question was he's going to be able to stay healthy for 17 games, and I thought he did pretty well.
Well, I think what we saw this year with the Eagles was, for the last handful of years, we've been bringing in a different running back pretty much every year, and we were taking like average running back and making them really good because our offensive line was beastly. And then this year we went out and got a really good running back and just made him great. So
They both just shined off of each other. Because Saquon, he's like, if I couldn't do it without my O-line, he says you don't rush for 2,000 yards without a good O-line. Like
he averaged almost 6 yards a carry. Like you don't do that for a full season.
I don't know how many times I got
really good offensive line.
fantasy football updates. He rushed for a 60-yarder, 70-yarder, 50-yard. Like he had huge runs at like.
Oh yeah,
like,
tell me about it.
Oh yeah,
He had a couple of them against the Rams.
Yeah, they might want to figure something out for this
300
week.
yards on us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to figure that out. You're gonna have another long night, Dad.
Well, like what I just say before we got on the air, Uncle Doug. How do you slow down a great pass rush?
Yeah,
You run at them.
that's right.
Like and your all's pass rush has been phenomenal this year.
And so yeah, I figure we're gonna get a lot of Saquon. We couldn't stop him last time, so.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, Uncle Doug. I'm hoping for a repeat performance. Because if Saquon goes for 250, I'm pretty confident we win.
Yeah, me too.
yes.
But yeah, I'm a little surprised by your pick, Drew. But yeah, I do like Saquon.
Yeah, I like him.
I don't know. I like Saquon. I think again, this is the perfect. This fits well for him.
All right. Well, Uncle Doug, do you got another skill position player for us?
I do. Harold Carmichael.
I also have old Harold.
Yep, I do as well.
Ray. Ray. Harold's. Oh man, I loved watching Harold Carmichael play. He was with the Eagles from 71 through 83. He had a short. Played like 2 games with the Cowboys in 84, but that didn't really count.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah. Had 590 receptions for almost 9,000 yards. Averaged 15.2 yards per catch. 79 touchdowns, including an 85-yarder. He led the league in receptions and yards in 73. with 67 receptions for 1,116 yards. He made 4 Pro Bowls. He's in the Hall of Fame. Made the All-70s team. Walter Payton Man of the Year one year. Cool thing about Harold was 6'8".
Yes, I was getting ready to bring that up.
Yeah, 6'8", 225, and he could play.
And he's the franchise's all-time leader in receiving yards.
Yeah. And for a while, didn't he have the streak for most games with a catch?
That I don't know.
I was thinking he had it, and then I think Art Monk broke it, and then somebody else may have it now. But I thought for a while Carmichael had it. But yeah, I loved watching Harold play.
Yeah, so we got our first receiver on the board. All right, Ray, you've been kind of missing out with the rest of us. So who do you got here, sir?
Well, I'm probably gonna miss out again on this one. So I picked 2 running backs on my list. The second one is LaShawn McCoy, aka Shady.
Shady.
Yeah, that is.
6-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 2-time Super Bowl champ. Not with the Philly, I don't think.
No, it's not.
No.
And he's very, very bitter about it.
Let's see, all 2000s team. He played for Philly for 6 years. Ran for 6,792 yards, 44 touchdowns. Let's see, he was targeted 383 times. Caught 300 for 2,282 receiving yards with 10 touchdowns.
And he's the franchise's all-time leader in rushing yards. And until this year, he had the most yards in a season.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got passed.
So I thought I'd throw him on there because of the short stint that he had and the success rate that he had in the stat columns. I thought I'd throw him on there.
I was a big Shady fan. And Chip Kelly will forever go down in infamy in Eagle Land for successfully dismantling one of the most talented cores we ever had by getting Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin, and Shady McCoy all out of town, which sounds insane.
Well, Kelly's whole coaching style when he got to Philly was just like, oh, let's bring the Oregon signs and let's do all this weird fucking college shit in Philadelphia. And it was just like, this is not hitting. These are not kids anymore.
Well, not just that, but like his whole thing was, it's my system, not the players in it. And I'm like, no, you still have to have talent.
Yeah.
Like you can't, like the 5 of us couldn't go out there and beat somebody because we were in a really good system. Like,
No, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you still have to be really talented, and you can't be trading away, perennial Pro Bowlers and borderline Hall of Famers because they don't, because of your system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shady's very bitter about it to this day. Him and Deshaun Jackson attended all the playoff run in 2017. We won the Super Bowl. They were at the stadium, like watching games, celebrated with the team afterwards. Like they're still very Philly guys, but they don't have anything nice to say about Chip.
Right.
Yeah, I always like Shady. All right, well, we're back around to me. I'm a little dumbfounded by all these running backs we got on here. But I'm going to go with somebody we just talked about in Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have him too.
I have old Deshaun.
Deshaun Jackson, I don't know if I've talked about this on air, but I know I've talked to you guys about it, has a case to be considered the greatest deep threat of all time. He has like the most 80-yard catches and 70-yard catches and 60-yard catches.
Yeah.
He was obviously shipped out of town after 8 years in Philly because of Chip Kelly's ego, I think, more than anything. But while he was in Philly, he made 3 Pro Bowls and an All-Pro. He led the league in yards per reception 4 times. A couple of times up over 20. His 3rd year in the league, he had 22.5 as his yards per reception. A handful of 1,000-yard seasons. His total numbers in his 8 years in Philly is 6,500 yards and 35 touchdowns, with 379 catches. If you could say anything about Deshaun Jackson, negative about Deshaun Jackson, it would be that he couldn't keep his hamstrings healthy for a full season.
Yeah.
But although I think that 4.2 speed had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson, at least one of the greatest deep threats of all time.
Indeed.
And I thought that would play well here. So I added them, and obviously you guys agreed. So there we go. Drew, I think we're back to you, buddy.
So let's see here. Okay. All right. I have old Jeremy Maclin. I decided to put him on as one of my receivers.
I actually don't have Jeremy Maclin.
I don't either. I really like Jeremy.
I do
but
too.
I didn't put him on.
I originally thought I would, and like I just wrote down my team real quick, and I was like, these are the guys I want. Well, then I went back and looked at it and realized I had 8 guys, and so Maclin got taken off.
Well, he played 5 years in Philly. He had 4,700 yards, almost 5,000, 36 touchdowns, averaged 14 yards a catch. He had 343 catches in his time in Philly. Obviously, we just talked about his 2 running mates, their time in Philly. He had his last season in Philly. He had 1,300 yards, but the other times he was 700, 900, 800. He missed some time there. He probably had 1,000 a couple of those seasons. I just remember him being one of another dominant receivers for Philly. It was him and Deshaun, and then McCoy running the ball there in the early 2000s. So 2010s, I guess. But I always kind of like Jeremy Maclin. So
he was probably he probably did more than Deshaun did. You know, he went across the middle. He caught balls underneath. You know, and he could still spread the field a little bit. Not to Deshaun's level, but still did. But just wasn't as flashy or as elite at one
No,
thing.
yeah, he wasn't. He was definitely more the complete all-around receiver than what Deshaun was. But Deshaun had one very good, if not the best at all time at doing it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I did like Jeremy Maclin, and, of course, he went to Mizzou. So.
Yeah.
All right, Uncle Doug, we're back around to you, good sir.
Yep. I'll have another receiver. Mike Quick.
Yeah.
I also have Mike Quick.
I do not.
Oh, Drew. How can you not have Mike? Okay. He played for the Eagles from 82 to 90. Played there 9 years. 5 Pro Bowls. 2 All-Pros. He was 6'2", 190. Your size, Drew.
Oh, boy. He running around out there.
363 receptions for 6,400 yards and 61 TDs. He averaged 17.8 yards per reception. Led the league in yards one year with 1,400. That was on 69 catches. He averaged 20.4 yards per catch that season. He also had a year where he averaged 23.1 yards per catch. Now, he only played 8 games that year. Only had like 22 catches, but he made them count. So, yeah, I remember watching him run under some balls.
I mean, it's so awesome to have a wide receiver named Quick. I mean,
Yeah. We got quite a few names up there already.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And more than I thought we would, to be honest. All right, Ray, I think we're back around to you, buddy.
All right. I went with the tight end.
As long as it's the right tight end, I won't be mad.
Well, he was a pretty reliable tight end when he was there. 3-time Pro Bowler. 1-time Super Bowl champion. He's not with the team any longer. He went to the competitor in the division, the Commanders. His name is Zach Ertz.
I also have Zach Ertz.
I also have Zach
Yep,
Ertz.
I do as well.
Unanimous tight end. Look at us,
Yeah,
guys.
there you go.
In fairness, he didn't just go to Washington. We traded him to Arizona first. So
Yeah, so he was in Arizona for a couple years before. Isn't this his first year with the Commanders?
yeah, it is.
So
Yeah. Let's see. 9 years in Philly. 579 receptions out of 868. 6,267 receiving yards. 10 yards a catch with 38 touchdowns. And I don't see any trick plays where he's got any rushing yards. So, but yeah, he's the one who I remember the famous tight end on the Eagles. He's always the name that I remember, the name that comes up mostly, I think.
Yeah, and he's actually starting to climb some of the all-time tight end lists. He's up over 8,000 yards for his career, over 50 touchdowns for his career. I was watching the Commanders-Eagles game a few weeks ago, and they were talking about that. So, yeah, he also made 3 Pro Bowls. I don't know if you said that, Ray.
Yeah, I think so, but
yeah. All right. Well, yeah, Zach Ertz, unanimous. He's
Cool.
in.
all right.
All right. Well, we're back around to me, and I do believe this is my last player.
Sweet.
I don't know who else has anybody left.
I got one.
I got one left.
I'm done.
Well, my last player is AJ Brown.
Yep.
No.
That's my last one.
And AJ Brown has not been here as long as some of the other guys we've talked about. This is his 3rd year in Philly. All 3 years he's been over 1,000 yards, even though this year he only played in 13 games. But he had almost 1,500 yards his first year and 1,450 his second year. So in his 3 years in Philly, he has 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns in 3 years. That's pretty nice. He's a physical freaking specimen out on the football field, just yoked up out of his mind.
He is. He's doing some weird things though, from time to time. Reading books.
He did read a book this week.
Did you see that, Ray?
No.
He read a book on the sideline during the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, didn't he eat a brat or something? Or no, he fell asleep. He got fined for taking a nap during one of the games this year.
Well, in fairness, it was a game he wasn't in. Like, he wasn't dressed.
He wasn't
for it.
playing. It was the last. He was just curled up in his coat, laying there, and he just fell asleep. And the
yeah.
league fined him. I'm like, I like AJ though. Some of the stuff he's done this year is kind of funny.
Yeah, he's a beast. He just, like a lot of receivers, gets pissed off. He doesn't get the ball. No,
Yeah.
Is he not Xander's favorite player?
he is.
That's what I thought.
Yes, is my son's favorite player. Yes. All right. Well, I'm done, and Ray's done, and Drew's done. So Uncle Doug.
It's just me. Well, I have your other son's favorite player,
Yes.
Devontae Smith,
Oh,
Yeah.
Dad's loved him
the
since
Slim
college.
Reaper.
Hey,
I've liked him since he played at Alabama, and so I had to put him on there.
I
So
like
shout out to Zane.
I like him as well, actually.
They call him the Slim Reaper?
Yep.
Yeah.
He weighs like $150,
6
maybe.
foot 170.
Oh, he weighs what? That boy don't weigh no 170.
Isn't that Kevin Durant's nickname?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his nicknames are the Slim Reaper, Rubber Band Man, Smitty, and Skinny Batman. But I've always just heard the Slim Reaper.
Skinny Batman.
Anyway, 308, a little over 300 receptions, 308, a little over 4,000 yards, 27 TDs. It came down to he and AJ. I like AJ too, but I've always liked Devontae, so I had to throw him out there. I figured Alex would have Xander's back, so I had to have Zane's.
Yeah, there you go.
Get both the boys mentioned tonight.
It's interesting. We got a receiver and a tight end are unanimous, and then
Then a mess.
Well, I will come over to McNabb,
There you
sort out the
go.
quarterbacks right away. I just
McNabb.
had to talk about Randall a little bit, but yeah, go ahead. We'll go to McNabb.
So we McNabb is in.
Yep.
And now we have 3 running backs, guys. What are our thoughts here?
I don't know.
I'm Saquon Barkley.
I mean, I will give it to you that Barkley and McCoy are better runners of the football than Brian Westbrook is.
But
I think Saquon's pretty good at catching the ball.
He is.
I mean, he had the greatest play this year, hurtling someone backwards, and that was on a
that was
catch.
pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
wild. That's just extremely athletic. I'm not saying that Sean McCoy is not extremely athletic, but Saquon is just unhuman at that time. And
I think McCoy and Barkley have a very similar running style. They're both very herky-jerky and explosive, kind of in the Barry Sanders vein.
yeah,
But yes, that play you're referring to is just ridiculous.
I mean, anyone else tries that, they're probably getting killed. Hurtling someone backwards, he just made it look so clean.
He did.
And effort. He didn't make it look like he tried either. He just kind of looked like he half-hearted it. I'm like, how did he not get blown up? Because there's 3 Jaguars there. Like, I mean, how do you not get decleated when you hurl someone backwards? How the time you get decleated when you hurl someone the regular way? I don't know.
That might have been why it was so clean, though, is because he had his back to him. The guy it wasn't like he's going to jump over my head. You know what I mean?
That takes a lot of guts to try it too.
It does.
I wonder if there's like something in practice like he's done to people.
Yeah.
Like, screw it, I'm gonna try it in a game sometime.
And then we've already got a tight end and a receiver in. Yes. And we've got
What's Carmichael's position? Receiver?
he's a receiver. Yeah.
Okay, let me clear up a running back.
Oh, Shady's gone.
Sorry, Shady.
Yeah.
Oh,
Get
Harold's
in.
in.
He is their all-time leading receiver. So.
That is true.
And 6'8's a pretty nice target.
Yeah. Might as well be a tight end at 6'8".
I think they originally brought him in thinking he might be a tight end. He just didn't bulk up. He stayed about 225 and could run.
6'8", that's a little.
Yeah,
You put a lot more weight on it, 6'8".
right. But he just didn't.
Huh. No, yeah, that's like it sounds like a decent amount of weight, but when you're 6'8", he can't be that big.
Right. But he could catch and he could run. I'd like to have a 6'8 target when you're out there throwing, Drew.
That'd been nice.
Well, guys, anybody else have any thoughts here?
I'm willing to make some deals.
Like what?
I'll go wherever you guys want me to move my Macklin pick if I can get some help. If me and Ray can get some support on Barkley.
Barkley, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, man. The dude put up over $2,000.
On the ground, something we're not doing.
$2,000. 1 year.
I know, but he's going to put up 0 yards on the ground in this.
What? He can't catch the ball or what?
No, he can catch the ball. Yes, but like your point is that he ran the ball for 2,000 yards. I'm like, well, he
Well,
can't run
yeah.
the ball.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go with that theory, then why even have running backs at all?
Well, some of the teams don't.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. We've got several without him.
So are you wanting to have both, Drew, or are you just wanting to have Barkley?
I want both. I want Westbrook too. I'm with you guys on Westbrook. I want both.
Okay.
I want dual running backs coming out. I'm flexible with where you guys want my Macklin pick to go, what receiver we want it to go with. I can do that. I'm good with that. But I need some help with Barkley before I start saying where I'm going. Yeah, I'm not leaving my ground without having nowhere to stand.
So hold on, Drew. If you got your way, who would be the 7 then? I mean, McNabb, Westbrook, Barkley, Carmichael, Deshaun, and Ertz. Who would be your last one?
Probably go to my boy AJ.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
AJ.
AJ can do some more damage than this quick guy. Sorry that I like Devontae, but
So we'd be going with
But you could have Quick and AJ. No, when Ertz got 4. Sorry.
okay. So if you got your way, Drew, we would have obviously a quarterback, but we'd have 2 running backs,
Mhm.
a tight end, and 3 receivers.
Mhm.
Huh. I'm not against this.
I'm flexible with it. Like
Because I will say this. This was my idea when I put my team together originally. I was like, if I get Ertz out here, because I didn't think you guys were going to be all on board with Ertz. If I can get Ertz out here with Carmichael and A.J. Brown, I have 3 large humans that can block for Westbrook and Deshaun if I throw them screens.
it's true, yeah.
That was my thought process. That doesn't necessarily, what you're talking about doesn't necessarily ruin that.
No, it kind of gives it more of a surprise because you can do it to either running back.
It's true.
You can just line up and just have them line up in an eye, and then just drop back and they just go out to the side and like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
I mean, you just do stuff like that because they're both threats. It's not like one, oh, he's not catching the ball. It's not like we've got Derrick Henry and who's another? Let's see, Chris Johnson. Yeah, Chris Johnson catches the ball better than Derrick Henry could. It's not like we have them going different ways. Like most of the time, you're going to throw the ball to Chris Johnson more than Derrick Henry.
What are you thinking here, Ray?
I don't know.
I mean, about the idea we're talking about.
I mean, I'm down with it. I mean, I had 2 running backs on my list.
You did, yes.
Yeah. So
Uncle
I'm
Doug,
down. I'm down with the theory.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I like Saquon. I just didn't really consider him because it's
1
only
year.
been 1 year.
Yeah.
A wild year, though.
All right, I'll come off Mike quick and go to Saquon.
Holy crap.
Let's go. I got us, Ray.
Okay. So we're going to Barkley.
Well, since I got my Barkley help, I'm a man of my word. I'll go from Macklin to A.J. Brown.
Okay.
And we did all that, and nobody's still in.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
But it helps. We got some
It
more
does help.
threes.
We did get somebody deleted. So
Who else has got Quick besides me?
Me.
Uncle Doug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see who we got here. Well, Doug, you want to go to the Barkley train, and I'll go to Westbrook.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I'll go to Barkley, and you're going to Westbrook, so
Yeah.
that gets those 2 in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and
So that leaves
AJ Brown.
in
Smith.
Devontae.
I like it, Dad. You stood up for Xander.
Oh yeah,
But
I'll go to AJ.
Okay.
There we go.
I feel like Devontae and Deshaun would do the same thing. And Deshaun's the better one at it.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to have Devontae on this team. I would have liked to have had Mike Quick or Jeremy Macklin on this team. I'm not
Yeah.
against any of them.
The Eagles didn't have the problem. They had plenty of depth at receiver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like we were actually arguing about guys that are good. Like I don't know. Some of the other franchises were like we're scraping people that were there for maybe a year. Like these guys are still playing there. So like
Yeah, I agree. So that leaves our offense as Don McNabb, Brian Westbrook, Saquon Barkley, Harold Carmichael, Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, and A.J. Brown. Not a bad 7.
yeah, that works.
A little bit different than some of the other teams we put together. We have 2 running backs and a tight end. But I think it could do some damage.
For real, yeah.
All right, that moves us on to defense. So, Drew, do you have a defender for us?
I do. I'm just gonna get the obvious one out of the way. My boy Weapon X, Brian Dawkins.
Damn right.
Yeah, I have Brian.
He'd be one scary man on 7-on-7. Because now he's just headhunting. You don't have to worry about the run game. He's just strictly like we've talked about him a couple times on the Eagles Mount Rushmore and the best safeties of all time. He's just a crazy man on the field.
He is.
I mean, we've talked about the stories. I'm sure you guys have heard the stories if you're listening about he had 2 lockers, and halfway through warm-ups, he would switch over, and it was a different personality during the game.
Oh yeah.
And he would just be crazy. I mean, it's just, it's just like he hits hard, but he has like what was it, 37 career interceptions?
37 interceptions, 26 sacks.
Yeah, I would say he was an all-around safety. Like he did it all. Like it was, like, honestly, he come down and tackle. He still was like sometimes when you talk about these guys, they didn't get interceptions. He has almost 40 interceptions for his career. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. But he was right away. I'm like, well, we know who's anchoring the back of this defense.
Indeed, we do.
We knew exactly who it was going to be. So,
Yes, sir. All right, Uncle Doug.
I have a corner for you. Herm Edwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
yep.
I just feel like Herm has to be on the Eagles team. Besides being a great player, I love listening to him on TV.
He does do a good job on TV.
He does. He's a smart man. And the NFL brings him in to talk to the rookies and young people, and he's just a classic guy. Played for 9 years in Philly, 10 years total. The last couple were just kind of hit and miss, a few games here and there. 33 interceptions, 1 for TD, couple fumble recoveries, 6 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries, couple forced fumbles, and one of those he ran back for a touchdown. I believe, was he not the guy that ran the touchdown back in the Giants game?
I believe so.
Yeah, he's the one that scored at the Miracle at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, the Miracle at the Meadowlands was Herm. So, I thought Herm would be a pretty solid corner for us.
Yes, I agree. And he's a decent sized corner too. You can match him up with some bigger guys.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Ray, you got a defender for us?
I do. He was drafted in 1988, 30th overall in the second round, 6-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro, 1993 Defensive Player of the Year, UPI, 7 years in Philly, 34 interceptions, 5 interception touchdowns, 4 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries, 2 sacks, and 46 solo tackles. His name is Eric Allen.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I have him too.
Yep.
That's 4?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Eric Allen was a very good corner for quite a while for us.
Well, defense is on a streak here.
Yeah. I like it.
Indeed.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go with somebody who we've heard his name before. I'm going to end his this will be his last team as far as I'm concerned. But we're going to go with no other than Big Play Slay here.
Yeah.
Yep. I have
Darius. Like, I remembered him for this team.
See, I couldn't remember how many teams we put him on, so I didn't pick him.
Oh.
Yeah, we just put him on Detroit. He's only played in Detroit and Philly.
So it's 3 of you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But old Slay here is in his 5th year in Philadelphia, where he has a whopping number of 9 interceptions. Although I must say, he doesn't get thrown at a lot.
No.
And Jordan Love found out why this week.
Yep.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Did you see that catch? It was a nice catch.
No, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, on the interception. Yes, he's a very, very talented cover corner. Not somebody that's necessarily a great tackler, but he will stick his nose in there and tackle. He's made 6 Pro Bowls and 1 All-Pro, not all of which in Philly, obviously. and he's still playing, so he obviously has, doesn't have like some of the after career accolades like Hall of Fame or all something team or whatever. But yeah, very talented corner who also runs really well. He's a guy you can put on a deep threat. Big play Slay. And Drew, we're back to you, buddy.
So I went with old Asante Samuel. Let's finish him out as well.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I have Asante as well.
I would
See,
say,
same thing as Slay. I didn't know how many teams we had left.
Let's say, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, 23 interceptions. This is the other team he was with, besides with the Patriots, and he was just as good with the Eagles as he was with the Patriots. I think he led the league in interceptions one year with the Eagles, because I think last week, I think I remember seeing one year he did it with the Patriots and one year he did it with the Eagles.
That is true. And he also led the league in pass deflections one year with the Eagles.
Okay. We kind of just went over him, but he's just another corner that you can say, hey, go lock this guy down for us. Like,
indeed.
So you always want that on your team. So I thought if he was going to put on a second team, I thought he needed to be put on the Eagles. So
I appreciate that, Drew.
yep.
All right, Uncle Doug, do you have another one for us?
I do. I have another cornerback. Well, play a little safety too, but Troy Vincent.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I have old Troy.
Say 5 Pro Bowls, All Pro. He played 8 years in Philly. Sorry. He's got 28 interceptions. Ran one back for a touchdown. He's got 10 forced fumbles, 6 fumble recoveries. And I believe all his Pro Bowls, all 5 of them, came in Philly, and his All-Pro came in Philly. He was first team, and I think he also had a second team
He
All-Pro.
did. Yep, first and second team back-to-back years.
So, yeah. So just another really solid corner. Secondary is shaping up pretty well.
It is indeed. Well, Ray, do you have another defensive player for us here, sir?
This is kind of an older guy.
Okay.
He was drafted in the 3rd round, 69th overall of the 69 NFL draft. 3-time Pro Bowler, 2 All-Pro. 8 years in Philly, 1 in St. Louis. Let's see here. Well, I don't even know why I picked him, man, because I ain't got no stats. His name's Bill Bradley.
Okay.
And I don't even know now. Because when I looked at him, I thought I seen a bunch of stats. Well, we'll get back to that one later.
Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I think I looked at him on the franchise page.
All right.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
Well, aren't you just full of cool information?
I
there,
know.
Ray?
Hey, I told you when he was drafted.
Well, I just pulled him up. I mean, Bill Bradley's who played free safety. He's tied for the all-time leader in interceptions for the franchise.
Okay. Yeah.
And he also has a sack and 9 fumble recoveries, 7 forced fumbles. We don't have tackle numbers for him. Too old, but
I wonder why it didn't show nothing on his individual page. Because I have to go to the franchise page to see anything.
yeah, he doesn't have any defensive stats on his page. It just has punt returns.
Yeah. But if you go to the franchise Eagles page, it's got all his stats.
Huh. That's kind of weird.
That's wild.
That's why it was throwing me off, because I was like, there's a reason why I picked this fool. You know?
Absolutely.
Huh.
All right.
Get it together, Pro Football Reference.
Well, I have another corner for us by the name of Lito Shepherd.
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
I thought about Lido, but
Lito Shepherd played 7 years in Philly. In those 7 years, he grabbed 18 interceptions, made 2 Pro Bowls, first team All Pro, led the league in interception return for touchdown once. Returned 3 of those bad boys, by the way. He was our number 1 corner for a while at the early 2000s. And his partner in crime was pretty good himself. I wonder if one of you may mention him, but I'll let that remains to be seen. So I guess we'll say Drew. Who do you have?
Well, another guy that I saw play more. I kind of forgot about him a little bit. I remember when I saw the name. I was like, oh yeah, I do remember him playing. I went with old Malcolm Jenkins.
I very, very heavily considered going with Malcolm Jenkins.
Split his time with New Orleans and Philly. He was in Philly for 6 years. Got 11 interceptions, 4 of them for pick sixes. One of them was 99 yards. He led the league 1 year with pick sixes. I just remember him being one of the Eagles' captains on defense for that Super Bowl team.
Indeed.
Remember just being one of the captains on the defense in general. I mean, you had Fletcher Cox and all the linebackers. And I remember in the secondary, it was really Malcolm Jenkins, I think, anchoring down that secondary. So I thought about him. That's who I thought to round out my team as I put old Jenkins on there. So
he also in the Super Bowl in 2017. What's his name? Cook. He used to play for you guys, Uncle Doug, the receiver.
Oh, Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cook. Brandon Cook tried to go across the middle, and Malcolm Jenkins knocked him out.
Yeah, that was.
And he did not return.
Yeah. That's the one where he picks him up and body slams, or is he just hitting? Because
I'm pretty sure he just hits him.
Isn't there another one where someone gets body slammed in that Super Bowl?
I'm not sure.
But I do remember Cooks got low. I'm like, oh, he's done for the.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, with the new rules, he's going to the concussion tent. He ain't coming back out. Yeah.
Yes, I very heavily consider Malcolm Jenkins. I liked him a lot. Well, Uncle Doug, you got another one left too, right?
I do.
Who
Yeah,
do you
I
have?
liked Malcolm Jenkins. I like Lido, but I went with Wes Hopkins.
Okay.
Another free safety. 6'1", 213. He played 10 years, all for the Eagles, 83 to 93. 1 year in there he didn't play because of a knee injury. 30 interceptions in those 10 years. Only ran 1 back for a touchdown. He did have 16 fumble recoveries. So 1 Pro Bowl, 1 All-Pro. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are you two done?
Yep.
Yes.
Ray, how many you got left?
I got 2.
Okay.
All right. You want me to do back to back or?
Yeah, you're the only one left.
Oh,
so.
okay. All right. So the first one, he was drafted in 1960. Another old one. His nickname is the Blade. Played 5 years in Philly. 29 interceptions. 7 fumble recoveries. 6 sacks. Don Burrows.
Okay.
And then the
Not
next one.
familiar with old Don.
Okay. Let me pull this
The
other
name
one
sounds familiar, but did he play for someone else?
up. Yeah, he played for the Rams first.
I don't know, my computer's being slow.
Oh, wait, I already did that one.
Very slow.
Okay.
Wow, he's 6'4".
Oh, crap. Come on. Okay, there we go. All right. This is also an older guy. 1964. Played 6 years in Philly. 24 interceptions. 3 for touchdown. 5 fumble recoveries, 5 sacks. This one is Joe Scarpati. Yep. Oh.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, Ray, you come up with some oldies here, didn't you?
Yeah. I figured, I mean, y'all had a good little stint, in those older days. So I thought there were some old guys in there.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Well, let's see. I think I have the most singles.
Probably.
So I think I'll go and start clearing mine up here. Bradley, I'll go to Slay.
All right, so Slay's in.
I'm going to take Burrows. And he can go to Samuels.
Sante's in.
Get him in.
Oh boy, this is interesting. I don't think we've ever had this. 4 ones for the final spot.
Yeah, we've got we got 6 guys in, and we got 4 left.
Is each one of us got a
Yeah.
single?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've
Shut
all
the
got a
fuck
single
up.
left.
We've never had this in anything.
Wow.
No, definitely not.
How in the fuck we gonna do this, guy?
Well,
We're gonna text Wade.
yeah, I was say let's text
That's
Wade.
fine with me. That's crazy though. That
Yeah,
I would looked up there. I
or
said,
just call him, see if he'll answer,
Okay.
Yeah.
and we can put him on.
That is hilarious.
so is it Leto Shepherd,
Lito
Yeah.
Shepherd, yeah.
Yeah.
Malcolm Jenkins, Hopkins, and
Wes
Joe
Hopkins and
Scarpati.
Joe Scarpati. Well, Hopkins and Jenkins are free safeties.
when Ray
Lito's
said
the corner.
Joy Scapati, I thought Vince Papali. I said, no, ever put my boy Vince on there.
And then Joe Scarpati is a defensive back. Hey, this is Regis Philbin of How to Be a Millionaire.
Ringing, don't worry, folks. We're waiting to see if he answers.
We got your Uncle Doug here, and
What up, buddy? We're recording the podcast, and we have something that's never happened to us before, and we need your help. Okay, so we have 6 guys in. So we need one more spot filled, but all 4 of us have 1. Yes. So it's the Eagles defense. We have Brian Dawkins, Herm Edwards, Eric Allen, Darius Slay, Asante Samuel, and what's Vincent? Troy Vincent. So those guys are all in. And then we have Lito Shepherd, Malcolm Jenkins,
Wes.
Hopkins, and Joe
Scarpati.
Scarpati. Do you need more information, or can you go off of those 4? Okay, I
All
can
right,
do that.
Scarpati.
Yep, Scarpati is a 5'10", 185-pound defensive back who played 6 years in Philly out of his 7-year career. He's a free safety. He had 24 interceptions in those 6 years. He played from 64 to 70. And then Wes Hopkins is a 6'1", 213 defensive back who played from 83 to 93. He played all his career, 10 years of his career in Philadelphia, where he picked off 30 balls. And he's also a free safety, by the way. Yeah. And those guys don't have tackle numbers because they didn't do that back then. All right. Little Shepherd. Yeah.
Sound like a kind of scheming on the phone here.
Is that your pick? All right. Wade's pick is Malcolm Jenkins.
Let's
Oh,
go.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank you,
That
Wade.
was Drew's pick.
Ah,
Drew said, oh, sorry, go ahead. I had Lito Shepherd. Ray had Scarpati. And Uncle Doug had Hopkins. Yep. He did, yes. But yeah, we've had a pretty good go of it so far. And we will call you back if we need help with the anything else.
Get to feeling better, bud.
Later. Well, Drew, how's it feel to win?
Feels good.
Finally, Bears sucked all year.
Oh, God. Okay.
Ouch.
At least we have a
Oh.
quarterback, Ray.
Oh,
Oh boy.
I just feel a
Yeah.
javelin in my foot today.
What pick did you guys end up getting?
I
I don't remember. We got 10.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's about where we're at every year, between 8 and 10, it feels like.
All right. Well, that ends our Eagles 7-on-7 talk and leads us into MVP discussion, where we will be talking about the 1960 MVP voting, which is something we've done like 3 out of the last 4 weeks. I think we've talked about split MVPs because there were 2 leagues.
Okay, I just went to look this up,
Yeah.
and Football Reference says the Associated Press did not give out NFL awards in 1960.
What?
Yeah, it's UPI for both leagues.
So it had to be UPI, yeah. So that's because usually I just look it up on Football Reference, and they're like, no, not in 60.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm on Football Reference. It just has the UPI stuff.
Okay.
So Norm Van Brocklin, quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, won in the NFL in a landslide, where in 12 games, mind you, he threw for almost 2,500 yards and 24 touchdowns and 17 picks.
Ew.
That year. In second place was Paul Hornung of the Green Bay Packers, who rushed 160 times for 670 yards and 13 touchdowns. He also had 28 receptions for 257 yards.
Isn't that kind of low for a running back in the 60s?
600 yards? Yeah, I'd say it's not.
Yeah, that
I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
what, 50 yards a game?
Yeah.
That's nothing crazy, yeah.
That's not great.
No.
A Wade favorite, Raymond Berry, came in third with 74 catches for 1,300 yards.
Yeah, that's
and 10
pretty good.
touchdowns. None other than Jim Brown came in fourth with 1,200 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. And we rounded out here with old Johnny U, who threw for 3,100 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 24 picks. So yeah, there's old Johnny U. And then in the other league, the winner of the MVP was Abner Haynes from the Dallas Texans, who rushed for 875 yards and 9 touchdowns. But he also had 576 receiving yards. So then you had quarterback Jack Kemp of the Chargers, who threw for 3,000 yards, 20 TDs, and 25 interceptions.
What are these guys?
Wow.
You also had George Blanda of the Oilers, who threw for 2,400 yards, 24 touchdowns, and 22 picks. And Al Duro for the Titans, New York Titans, by the way, threw for 2,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 26 picks. So, yeah, there's our MVP guys here, gents.
So Horning was second?
Indeed he was. Well, nobody on either one of these lists, except for Van Brocklin, received more than 9 votes. And Norm Van Brocklin received 27.
Yeah, what were his stats again?
He threw for almost 2,500 yards and 24 touchdowns with 17 picks.
On 12 games, that's 2 touchdowns a game. A couple hundred yards a game.
Yeah, like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns a game, pretty much.
Yeah, compared to 50 yards.
Can't believe 50 yards is wild.
That is. That's
insane.
just crazy.
And people voted for him, and he was in second place.
yeah,
It must have just been because he was a Packer.
probably.
Oh, yeah.
They probably were the NFL champions that year.
Stupid Packers.
What team was Brooklyn
No,
on?
I think the
Oh, was
Eagles.
that the Eagles?
It's the
Eagles,
it's the
duh.
Eagles in the NFL championship because I remember during
yeah.
the playoff game, they said that's the only NFL championship Vince Lombardi lost was the 1961 to the Eagles.
Okay.
During your guys' playoff game, they showed that.
Oh, is that when Tommy McDonald played for the Eagles? That was his big receiver?
So they talked about the middle linebacker or whatever.
Oh,
Bednarik.
Yeah.
yeah.
What was Unitas's record that year?
By the way, Van Brocklin went 10-2. Their team did. The
Okay.
Eagles went 10-2. Unitas in 1960 went 6-6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Norm's going to keep his MVP.
I think Norman's just fine.
Dude, some of these stats are bad.
They're horrible. It kind of makes me want
This
to
is a
throw up
bad
looking
year,
at this
like
list.
Honestly, if I was going to give a second place, I think I'd give it to Raymond Berry.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
Raymond
real.
Berry didn't sound bad.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I mean, he had over 100 yards a game average.
Right, yeah. That would have been Johnny Unitas' target.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's who Unitas was throwing to.
Almost half his passing yards went to Raymond Berry.
Yeah.
Sound like somebody was getting some payoffs on the back end of this fucking boat.
There was a lot of picks being thrown in the AFL.
Yeah. Oh, it was crazy
They were
league.
chucking
They were
the ball.
just chucking the ball up. Well, that Kemp you mentioned, his biggest claim to fame is he became a U.S. senator.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
he ended
yeah.
up being a U.S. senator, I think, from I want to say New York.
I thought that
Did he
last
play
name
part of his
sounded
career in
familiar.
Buffalo, or is it all with the Chargers?
He played for Pittsburgh, the Chargers, Buffalo. Yep.
Yeah, I think he ended up being a senator from New York at some point.
He has a couple first-team All-Pros.
So, but yeah, I think old Norm should keep his.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm fine with old Norm keeping it.
Yeah, that's right, Drew.
50 yards a game. What in the hell?
Yeah, I ain't getting it to no Packer.
Some hate in your heart, Drew.
I don't care if he was a Packer or the grocery guy. I'm not giving it to somebody who's rushing 50 yards a game.
Yeah,
All I'm saying
that's
is
not great.
That is insane.
Caleb owns Lambeau. 1-0. People forget. Undefeated.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
say that now, then you're gonna be shitting yourself when you go
Oh, we're good.
0-8 in the
We're
next 4
fine.
years.
I'm fine.
Green Bay went 8-4 that year, by the way. Who was their quarterback? It was not on here. We got a 50 yards per game running back on here.
And
Starr.
60?
It is Bart Starr.
Yeah, it should be Bart Starr.
Who threw for 1,300 yards and 4 touchdowns, but he only played 8 games.
Mm.
And Lamar McCann.
Mm.
Paul Hornung was on this team. Oh, that's what we was talking about, wasn't it? Yeah.
There should be another running back too.
Jim Taylor.
Yeah, Jim Taylor's the other one.
You want to know what? Jim Taylor rushed for 1,100 yards.
What?
The
And
other
Hornung,
11, yeah.
Are you freaking
and Hornung
serious?
was second, and Taylor had 1,100 yards. He averaged almost 100 yards a game. The other guy averages 50, and he gets second. In
But his
MVP.
Robin got MVP votes.
That's what the hell is going on?
That was crazy. I don't know. Anyway, Van Brocklin
Yeah.
definitely needs to keep it.
Norm. We
He
got
mu-
your back, buddy.
He must have had the cheap cigarette, supply train to the team or something, and or to the higher ups. I'm like, hey man, I can get you a carton for $1.
Yeah, something.
All right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in for this Fly Eagles Fly episode. And we would appreciate you tuning in next week for our Washington Redskins episode.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying Commanders. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm over the
What
Commanders.
about the
man.
football team?
Yeah, not them either. The what the fucks is more like it. But yes, we appreciate you tuning in next week for Washington. No, there will be no hogs on this team.
Let's hope not.
I mean, yeah, no hogs. Starting at left guard. And guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. our listenership keeps growing, but we're not getting any fan interaction. We would really like some fan interaction. Send us some emails at
Sports the NEMO Way. Let me repeat it. Sports the NEMO Way @gmail.com. All you got to do is write an email. We all know emails. We've all been in this game for a long time. Sports the NEMO Way @gmail.com.
Yes. Or rate, review, subscribe. Leave us a comment on your podcast player of choice.
Yeah. I mean, I'll respond from time to time, you know.
So anyway, we appreciate you tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.